welcome to my YouTube listing of a 19-inch Suffolk Corporation. This is a mower and a model made by Suffolk, who made many mowers. This particular one is designed mainly for cutting long grass. As you can probably see, if I tip it up a little bit, you can see there's no front roller here, so this would cut the grass rather than rolling it. It's a slightly unusual type of mower. Suffolk made many mowers. The Suffolk Colt and the Punch were very popular, mainly for paddocks and stuff like that. It happens to be one of my favourite mowers. It's got the 75cc cast iron Suffolk engine. It's a 4-stroke engine, easy start. Few nice features about the engine. I'll show you some. This is an early example, and this was built about 1960s, early 60s. The previous model to this was called the Suffolk Squire. Basically the same mower, with a few alterations the corporation had on there. One of them, the corporation had a extra web welded in the cylinder for extra strength, and the sole plate was beefed up a little bit more for a little bit more commercial use. One of the other features, both models had this centrifugal clutch, which is quite nice, so when you start it up, it will just idle nicely, and then with a bit of throttle the clutch will take up and away you go. It's also got this little dog clutch on there, which was a safety feature. If you hit something hard, that would engage or disengage, and then reduce engine damage. So that was fitted to that. This machine was also sold with a grass box, or grass bag as it was, and I'm lucky enough to have one, so I will just get the bag out and show you. This is a sad example, but it is an example nevertheless, so let me pop that on. So it fits on the back, like so, and the little hanger goes up on the handle like that, so it spits it into the back there. I've used it and it actually works quite well, but not very strong. Right, we're going to go back to the engine now. Like I say, this is an early cast iron Suffolk engine. What makes it fairly early is the dipstick for checking the oil is on the front there. The later engines had a little dipstick, or a bigger dipstick, on the front. One of the other early features is this type of cowling, so you've got this bit of tin rather than the complete cowling on there, so that sort of dates it. This one is about 1960. Another nice little feature that I like, my camera lady's going to come round here. Come and have a closer look. This also here, you can see you've got the Suffolk casting on the side there. The early engines did have that, so that also makes it an early engine. The carburettor, it's a Zenith carburettor, that's it. Have a good zoom in. We've got the banjo on there, and this is the early type Zenith carburettor. The corporations also had, and the Squires, this little elbow here for the air filter. Now, normally the air filter would be dangling down, but because it's a rear discharge, they put this little elbow on there to keep the air filter away from the cut grass. Quite a good idea. And now I'm going to ask my camera lady to swing round the other side, please. And we have a look at the starter. Again, being an early Suffolk, you can see it's rather nice. You've got the Suffolk logo on the recoil. The later ones didn't have that. Now, if we go back a bit further and we went on to the Suffolk Squires, you would have had a rope start, which would have been a pulley, and obviously you'd have to wrap a bit of rope. I'll just show you a little picture of what we're talking about. I'm going to sneak round here and see if we can find what I'm talking about. So, what we would have had on the Suffolk Squires, we would have had this system where it was just a bit of rope that was wrapped round there. Obviously the recoil was a later addition. So quite a nice thing to have. you can certainly tell a difference anyway. So what we will do, I think, it hasn't been running for a while, so we're going to have a little go at seeing if it'll go. I think these are rather underestimated engines, these, so we're going to drop a juice in. Whether it's going to go or not is another thing. Hasn't been running for about 6 months, but we're going to have a go. It might leak fuel, it might not, but I'm fairly hopeful. So again, being 4-stroke, we're putting some straight petrol in. And while we're on the subject of petrol, I'm sure everybody probably knows it's changed, so having an additive in your petrol, or better still, running the super unleaded, will save you problems with carburetors. So what we're gonna do, so to start this, come in again, camera lady, please. So what we're gonna do, petrol tap on. We've got the fuel you can see going in there. We just tickle the carburetor, so hopefully with a dozen or so, probably in this case, I'm going to give it a good tickle. We can get some fuel coming through. I can hear it. Right, so we put choke, cold start, which is up, a little bit of throttle, and everybody's standing clear, so let's have a go.